9 countries, none of them on the usual list, all of them under $50 a day. I've been sitting on this one for a while, because these are the destinations I think deserve the conversation that Thailand and Bali have been having for 20 years. Let's go. Subscribe before we get into it. Number 1, India. Talking about India and specifically Rajasthan and Varanasi, because India is too large for a single description, and these 2 places are the ones that change people. Rajasthan is a state of palaces. Not metaphorically, Jodhpur, Jaipur, Udaipur, Jaisalmer are cities that were built around and inside and on top of palaces, most of which are still standing, and some of which cost $8 to enter. Jodhpur is called the Blue City because its old town is painted indigo, not one building, the whole district, blue to the horizon, and from above it looks like someone spilled the sky on the desert. Varanasi is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on Earth, on the banks of the Ganges, where death and life happen publicly and simultaneously, and the river doesn't notice either. It is the most overwhelming place I have ever stood. I mean that as the highest compliment I know how to give a city. Daily budget in India, $20 to $35. A guest house on the Varanasi Ghats with a river view, $12 to $22. A full Thali meal, everything on one tray, refilled until you stop them, $2 to $4. India is not a country. It's an argument the world is having with itself. It costs almost nothing to attend. Number 2, Cambodia. And I want to say something about Angkor Wat before I say anything else. The Angkor complex, built between the 9th and 15th centuries by the Khmer Empire, covering 400 square kilometers of temples, reservoirs, and roads, is the largest religious monument ever constructed by human beings. The Angkor Wat entry pass for 3 days costs $62. 3 days for the largest religious monument ever built. That number should be $620 and nobody would complain. But here's what I love most about Cambodia, Kampot, a small riverside town in the south, colonial buildings tilting gently in the humidity, pepper farms on the hills behind it, the best pepper in the world grown in the soil around it, almost no tourists, a guest house room in Kampot, $10 to $18, a meal at a local restaurant with that pepper on everything, $3 to $5. Cambodia at $30 to $45 a day rewards you proportionally more than almost anywhere on this list. It's generous in the way that places are when they've been through the worst and decided on warmth anyway. Number 3, the Philippines, Palawan. The Philippines, and specifically Palawan, which is the answer to the question most people are trying to answer when they book Bali. Palawan is a long, narrow island in the western Philippines, surrounded by 1,700 smaller islands. El Nido at its northern tip has a lagoon system, hidden beaches accessible only through narrow gaps in the limestone cliffs, the water inside a color somewhere between emerald and jade. That is the most beautiful coastal scenery I've seen anywhere in Asia. Island hopping tours from El Nido run $15 to $25 for a full day. That includes the boat, the snorkeling, and usually lunch on a beach that has your name on it for the afternoon. Coron in the north has a landlocked saltwater lake, Kayangan Lake, inside a ring of limestone cliffs, reachable by a short climb. The water so clear and warm that swimming in it feels like a hallucination. Entry, $5. Daily budget in Palawan, $30 to $50. A guest house in El Nido town, $18 to $35. The Philippines has 7,641 islands and Bali has 1. The maths has always been in the Philippines' favor. Number 4, Tunisia. And I want to name one thing specifically. The Bardo Museum in Tunis contains one of the largest collections of Roman mosaics in the world. Entire walls, entire floors, entire rooms covered in Roman mosaics. Hunting scenes, marine life, mythological figures, all of it from Tunisia's ancient cities when the country was the Roman province of Africa Proconsularis and produced more grain than any other region of the empire. Entry to the Bardo, $5. Sidi Bou Said is a blue and white hillside village above the Gulf of Tunis that looks like someone moved the Greek islands to North Africa. Douga is a Roman ruin site in the hills outside Tunis, a near-complete theater, temples, cisterns, forum that receives a fraction of the visitors that Pompeii or Ephesus receives and is arguably as impressive as either. Daily budget, $25 to $40. A guest house in Tunis, Medina, $20 to $35. A bowl of harissa-laden fish couscous at a local restaurant, $3 to $5. Tunisia has the Roman ruins, the Sahara, the Blue Mediterranean, and the Medinas. It has almost no tourist crowds. That combination is rarer than it sounds. Number 5, Cuba. And the reason Cuba makes this list in 2026 is specific. It's a country that is mid-transformation in a way that makes this moment the right one to go. Havana is a city of magnificent, decaying contradictions. The most beautiful colonial architecture in the Caribbean, crumbling behind the most exuberant street life in the hemisphere. Classic 1950s. American cars, maintained by necessity and pride into something beyond their original design, drive the boulevards in colors that don't exist on any manufacturer's palette. The Malecón seawall at sunset, with the whole city gathered on it and the Caribbean going dark, is one of the most social public spaces I've ever stood in. The music is everywhere, and it isn't performed for tourists. It's just what Cubans do in the evening. Trinidad, 3 hours east of Havana, is a colonial town frozen in 1850. Cobblestone streets, ochre and terracotta buildings, a central square that hasn't changed its bones in 200 years. Daily budget in Cuba, $30 to $50. A Casa particular, a room in a family home, the Cuban equivalent of a B&B, costs $20 to $40 and includes the best breakfast you'll eat all trip. Cuba is a country that exists in its own time. That time is running. Number 6, Indonesia, but not Bali. And I say that specifically because Bali gets all the attention while Yogyakarta and Lombok sit nearby, being entirely extraordinary and entirely themselves. Yogyakarta, Java's cultural capital, has 2 of the most significant ancient monuments in Southeast Asia, within an hour of each other. Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple on Earth, built in the 9th century, a stepped pyramid of 72 bell-shaped stupas rising through volcanic mist at dawn. Entry at sunrise, $25. Prambanan, the Hindu counterpart, 3 enormous temples rising 47 meters, costs the same and deserves the same reverence. These 2 sites together represent the only place in the world where you can see the great Buddhist and Hindu traditions of Southeast Asia expressed in stone at their absolute peak on the same day for $50. Lombok, the island east of Bali, has Bali's beaches without Bali's crowds or Bali's prices. Mount Rinjani's Crater Lake, a 3-day trek to the rim of an active volcano, is one of the great hiking experiences in Asia. Daily budget, $25 to $40. A guest house in Yogyakarta, $12 to $22. Lombok Beachside Guest House, $18 to $30. Indonesia has 17,000 islands. Most people go to one of them. Number 7, Laos. The quietest country in Southeast Asia by a significant margin, and the one that rewards stillness in a way that Thailand and Vietnam, with all their energy and excellence, structurally cannot. Luang Prabang is the reason to go. A UNESCO-listed town at the confluence of the Mekong and Nam Khan rivers, surrounded by jungle-covered mountains, where every morning at 5:30 a.m., the monks of 32 temples process through the main street for the takbat, the almsgiving ceremony. Saffron robes in the mist, the town quiet around them, locals kneeling with sticky rice. You can observe from a respectful distance. It costs nothing, and it's one of the most genuinely moving things that happens every single day anywhere on Earth. The Kuang Si waterfall, 30 kilometers from town, turquoise pools fed by a cascade, the limestone filtering the water into that specific impossible blue. Entry is $3. A full day there costs $3 and a long-tail boat ride back. Daily budget in Laos, $25 to $40. A guest house in Luang Prabang, $15 to $28. Laos is what happens when a country decides that slow is not a problem to be fixed. Number 8, Jordan, and specifically 2 things that exist nowhere else on Earth. Petra is a city carved directly into rose-red sandstone cliffs by the Nabatean people 2,000 years ago. You reach the treasury, the iconic facade, through a kilometer-long slot canyon called the Sikh, the walls narrowing above you until suddenly the canyon opens and the carved stone columns are right there, 6 stories tall, in a color that changes with the light from pink to deep amber. Entry to Petra is $70 for 1 day and $75 for 2. Book 2 days. 1 day is not enough for a city this size built into a cliff. Wadi Rum is the desert that Lawrence of Arabia called the vast, echoing, and godlike. Red sand dunes and enormous sandstone pillars rising from flat desert floor. A Bedouin camp overnight under a sky with no light pollution at all costs, $35 to $55 per person, including dinner and breakfast. The stars are the kind that make the sky look crowded. Daily budget in Jordan, $45 to $65. A guest house in Aqaba or Petra Village, $25 to $45. Jordan is the most travel-friendly country in the Middle East for Western visitors. Welcoming, safe, English widely spoken. And it has 2 of the most singular landscapes on Earth for under $60 a day. Number 9, Zanzibar, a coral island off the Tanzanian coast that was once the capital of a sultanate trading empire, and whose old town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that nobody in Western travel seriously talks about. Stone Town is a labyrinth of narrow coral stone alleyways, Arabic merchant houses with elaborately carved wooden doors, each door a statement of the owner's wealth and religion, lantern lit at night, a muezzin from one minaret answering another across the rooftops. It was built by Omani sultans and Indian merchants and absorbed every trade wind that crossed the Indian Ocean. Freddie Mercury was born here. The Zanzibar doors alone could fill an afternoon and cost nothing to walk among. 9 countries, all of them under $50 a day, all of them extraordinary in ways that have nothing to do with the price. Drop the one you'd book first in the comments and tell me, did any of these 9 genuinely surprise you?